Welcome back to my adequate garage. Today I am brewing something that for some reason I'm obsessed about, but I have no idea what it actually tastes like. I started watching all these YouTube videos. What's that one? Tweedy Pubs? It's just a guy walking around talking about pubs in the UK. And then he's going through about the English bitters. Loves that kind of beer. Doesn't like the kind of beers that, are popular these days. But I've always kind of liked those beers too, but I've only had them when I've briefly been in that area. You can't get that kind of stuff here. You definitely can't get, well, there's like one place I still haven't been to that you can get cask ale here. But what I want is something similar to Timothy Taylor's Boltmaker. And don't ask me why I picked that one. It's just because I haven't had it before, and I saw videos of it and wanted to try it. We can get Landlord here, and I don't mind it. I mean, I like it because I know I'm not making something that's too different from that, so I better be liking it. I do like it. I buy it once in a while. But I just want to try this one, see what comes up to be like. But I am doing something with the water. I've also just got this new wrapped thermometer, and I bought the new heat exchanger plate on the bottom because I'm trying to get maybe consistent mash temperatures. So I'm at my mash temperature, or a little bit higher. I'm gonna put in my Camden tablet, half a Camden tablet. I have my strike, or my sparge water here, and I'm gonna put some stuff in that too. I just got it here ready. It's not gonna be hot. It's just gonna be kind of like warm water. 2.4 grams of gypsum, 0.3 grams of Epsom salt, 3.6 grams of calcium chloride. Stir that around. I get these ads for this other brewing equipment. I can't remember, but the ad says, brewing a batch of beer on the weekend is one of the most calming and healing, or whatever, relaxing and healing experience I've had. Okay, maybe once you get to the part where everything's in and then you're doing it, but when all that stuff you got to do before you get to the point that I'm at right now, I can't stand. It's like constantly forgetting something, going back and forth, getting everything ready because I don't have it. Look where I am doing this. So anyways, now I like it, but all the stuff just to before this point, I wouldn't call that healing or relaxing, calming. Okay, now I'm ready to just start putting this in. So here we go. So the recipe for this is 4.25 kilograms of Golden Promise, 175 grams of Crystal Malt 120, 30 grams of brown malt. I did add some rice hulls. I just had some left, so I just threw it in there. It doesn't change anything in the flavor or anything. It's just gonna help with the mash not getting stuck, I guess. And then with the hops additions, 40 grams of East Kent Goldings at the 60-minute mark. 15 grams of Fuggle at 15 minutes. 20 grams of Styrian Goldings at 5 minutes, and 10 grams of East Kent Goldings flame out. And I'm using 1 package of SO4 yeast. And that's it. So not complicated. All right, so it's done fermenting. It's about a week later, and it's settled. It looks pretty clear, actually, as you can see the pill all the way. I don't think I've ever had it look quite like that. It looks very dark right now, but I don't think it's going to be this dark. I don't know what I'm basing that on, but when I put it in the hydrometer, it was way different color than that. So it started at 1045 and finished at 1014. I think it's about 4%. And that's pretty much exactly what I was going for. So I don't normally film this part, but I figured may as well do it. I washed both these. So this keg and this keg are both clean. And I took the parts off and washed them. And this one has sanitizer almost all the way to the top. This is a 10-liter keg. And I'm going to transfer as much as I can from this into the next keg, closed transfer. And then the rest of it, I'll just use the picnic tap to get rid of. So I don't have to open it. I was kind of worried. I've got the dip tube in there. And I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get right down to the bottom and leave too much sanitizer in there without checking it and dumping it out. So I just did a test with water and moving it around and spraying it out. I was able to get pretty much all of it out. So I feel all right about that. And then the lines should be sanitized because they're clean. Then I will do the transfer. I can hear it. There really shouldn't be any oxygen in here. The only thing with these things, are they full? Is that full of sanitizer? Yes, probably is. Purge that out. I have to get a better way of doing this. Because that hurts. Beer line into the out so that it goes through the dip tube down to the bottom, gently fills. Here we go. And you can just see just very slowly moving. And here's the finished beer. And this wasn't meant to be I didn't mean for this to be a Christmas video, but it's just so happens. But it is winter time. And that's why I kind of wanted to have a beer that was at least somewhat more suitable what I like to drink in the wintertime. I didn't want something that was like my last beer, which is like the sort of a lighter, hazy pale ale, which I liked. But actually, even at the end, I started getting a little bit like, all right, and this is good for the summertime. I don't want this anymore. So, and I think I mentioned it, but for this beer, I've been obsessed with it. And I don't really even know what it tastes like. I love the whole concept and the vibe and the appeal and of just good old fashioned English pubs. I just love that whole vibe. And you know, the hand pumps, cask ales, even though there's less and less of them, and also just watching videos of people drinking these beers and rating them, you know, you start to go like one after the other. It's just like video after video of a guy drinking these beers and talking about it and saying how good it is. But Boltmaker from Timothy Taylor is a really old beer. I think it was originally just called Timothy Taylor Best Bitter. And it was, I think it's from in the 1930s or something. And then also, this is the only one that I can get that's anything close to the one that I made here. Landlord. And this is Timothy Taylor's Landlord. And this one was even just recently available here. I've never had this one before until like a few months or sometime this year. And it's nothing special. It's a traditional, very traditional beer, but something that I've really been, and they also, it's different in the pubs when they serve them from the casks and the hand pump. It's a totally different thing. But, you know, this is the best I can get. And guess what? I haven't tried this yet. I think this is the first video where I'm actually doing this straight on without having drank it for a week. I only tasted it when I just did a small sample a couple days ago to taste if it was carbonated enough. And so now I think it is, because yeah, it should be good now. So I'm talking way too much here. Let's just start drinking. I'm gonna drink this beer and this beer. These glasses are so delicate. I got these as a gift and they're like gonna all break. The other one's already chipped. Well, that's looking nice. Wow. That is looking nice. This might be one of the clearer beers that I've done. I don't know if this is helping at all. That's nice. Okay, so it smells, I'm getting like, definite like caramel kind of. Honestly, don't know the difference between caramel and toffee. Someone tell me what that is. But one of those I'm getting. Yeah, malty. Smells really nice. I may as well just pour this one too because I'm gonna forget what the other one tastes like. Timothy Taylor's Landlord. Now let's just top this one up a bit. I think I'm going to loosen that off a little, but that's good. So let me smell this one. Landlord. I think mine's got more of the aroma. Oh, fuck. So there's that one. There's how that one looks. How do they differ? Oh, they both look nice, eh? I don't know if that tastes like a little fruitier than mine or what. This tastes more in the malty. Okay, I'm going in. First time. My Barnyard Boltmaker. If I can do that. Or if I want to go with the barnyard theme, the haymaker. Clearly though, you know I don't live in a barn or farm. Wow. Wow. I'm trying to figure out if that's the best beer I've made. I could drink that. Okay, let me try this one. Wow. So this is considered a pale ale. This one was based on a Yorkshire bitter. Some people refer to this as a bitter, but other people just call it a pale ale. I don't know if it's because they just wanted to be a little bit, I mean, I know they're all pale ales. Bitters are all part of the pale ale class, but they don't label this as a, I don't know, maybe they just decided to stop doing that. I don't know. I don't know why they call it the pale ale. Or maybe they're both technically pale ales, but this is known as a best bitter. But, you know, I drank this a few times and I, you know, to be honest with you, I don't mind it. I don't write home about it because my wife wouldn't care. She doesn't, why would I be writing home anyways? But definitely my wife would be like, why are you writing me about this beer? So I definitely don't write home about it, but this is called the Classic Pale Ale, ABV 4.1. This is actually 4%. And in the bottle, it'll probably be, like this one's a bottle, it'll probably be a little bit higher. So maybe it will be close to the same ABV. Championship beers. Both these beers have won awards. Mine has not won an award. But in terms of my beers, I think this one would win an award. It's supposed to be about 30 IBU. What I'm getting here. Malty sweetness. Supposed to be well balanced. So if being critical, I think it is balanced. There's definitely a sweetness, but then I get malty sweetness, but then at the very end, you get a dry bitterness. Really just makes you drink more of it. Well, I mean, look what I'm doing here. This one, Timothy Taylor's Landlord. Definitely a different flavor. I like that better. This one's, to me, tastes a little more bitter. What they say about Landlord. The drinker's favorite. Although, this one's my favorite out of these two. And the Classic Pale Ale with a complex citrus and hoppy aroma. Yeah? See, I was getting a little bit of I said fruity, but maybe it was the citrus. Landlord was launched in 1952 and has won more awards nationally than any other beer, including Camera Draft Supreme Champion Beer of Britain 4 times. Interesting because I don't look forward to drinking this when I raise it up. I bought another bottle of that too because there was like, these are always selling out in the stores because they don't order in the one store that I can get it at because they don't order a lot of them. It's probably like a niche group of people that are buying it. Yesterday, they just got some more in stock, so I bought 2 bottles of it for some reason. I think it was because I went and asked the guy. I couldn't find it, so I made the guy go look for it in the back. Turns out it was just on a different shelf that I wasn't looking at. So I bought 2 bottles because I was like, part of me was like, well, I made him do all that, and I'm only going to buy 1 bottle. So I bought 2 bottles, knowing I don't want 2 bottles because only reason I'm buying it is for this. And then I'm going to have a whole like 20 something liters of this beer. No need for this. By the time I'm done all this, I'm not going to want this. I already don't want it. I'll just drink a little bit more of it. Yeah, I wonder what the IBUs of that is. It is a good beer. But it's got, I think, more bitterness. This one smells really nice. Kind of actually smells like what my first beer I made it was, the red ale. But that one was just a kit. The ingredients were sort of all put together for me. I didn't actually make the ingredients myself like I did with this one, without any help of the internet. But this has also got like a really nice head, soft. Look at that, that's nice. The foam on there is nice. Oh yeah, that's sweet, malty, but then balanced at the end. That is a good beer. That is a successful beer. One of these days I'm going to make one where something bad happens and it goes wrong and I get rid of it, or it tastes like shit. I think this is this my 10th beer? I think I said I was gonna rank all my beers. I'm not gonna do that here because this has already gone on for too long. There's not really many movies these days where I'm like anxious for them to come out. Is this like a time in my, if there's like I used to talk about like what movies do I look forward to these days? The reason I'm saying this is because Heat 2 is rumored to be in possibly the works. Heat 1, or they don't call it that obviously. Heat's one of these movies where it's like, I wanna consider it like one of my top, I really wanna consider it one of my favorite movies. Like Goodfellas, for sure, one of my favorites. I like Rocky, all the Star Wars. Well, not all of them, but all the original ones. Unforgiven, definitely. Big Fish is one of my favorite movies. I mean, obviously there's a lot of type of favorite. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is one of my favorite movies. So when they're talking about Heat 2, that seems exciting, and I haven't read the book, so there's a book about it, and I didn't think that the book was worth reading if it was like never going to be anything, so I never read it, but maybe I'll read that. But anyways, I want to like Heat as much as those movies, and I really like Al Pacino, like Scarface. is one of my favorite movies too. And I like him in other movies. But, I mean, unfortunately for Al Pacino, when you go, oh, I really liked you, you're one of my favorite actors. Scarface is my favorite movie. And I'm like, he's like, I did that in fucking 1980. It's 2025. Can you find some other movie that you can say you liked? But I wouldn't put his performance in Heat as one of my favorites. I just wish he acted in that movie a little different. I wish his character was maybe done a little better. I get the idea of what they were trying to do with his character, but some of his scenes are just... Give me all you got! Give me all you got! Get killed walking your doggy. Yeah. But I still like the movie, other than those scenes. It's just when those scenes come up, it's like, oh, here we go. So anyways, that should wrap it up. Oh, oh man, you gotta check this out. You gotta look at the recipe of this one. This one, I stand behind this one. All the other ones, I'm not so sure. Even the last little Murphy's, so here's something that came up. On my Murphy's video, the one with that I didn't actually film, I guess I input all the ingredients into Brewfather after I made the beer. I was always planning on it being a 4% beer, but then when it's put into Brewfather, it came out as like 5.6%. I don't know what's going on. But I got 4%. It's totally weird. Yeah, that's really weird. The whole time I was expecting it to be 4% anyways. And then when I input it into Brewfather, they're like, no, this is going to be 5.6% or whatever. So my efficiency was just that bad? I would say this might be one of my best beers. I mean, just look at it. And the taste, I know this type of beer might not be for everybody, but that is solid. Really happy with this. I would say you could try the recipe and everything went well. So there's no reason why it wouldn't be good for you too. So there you go. Thank you. Go watch Heat and see what you think. Tell me if what I'm saying is true. It is true. But let's regroup after Heat 2 comes out. Okay? Talk to you later.